Hello everybody and welcome back to Dead by Daylight. Now, I've uploaded a Dead by Daylight video in months, at least, what, 8 months almost. Well, decided to play the game again, and as you can see, I'm right through with Killer, you know, popping. Instead of doing like a gameplay video, I want to do a new series. It's called How to Fix. Now, the premise of How to Fix is I will go over a killer or a perk, and I will discuss what the good things about them are and the bad things about them, and whether or not they're really strong or really weak. And then give what I think. Now, I'm not the most knowledgeable about the game. You know, I'm not like Addons. I'm not, the most knowledgeable. I don't know everything about the game. I don't know anything about balance. These are my opinions. These are what I think would be cool, and what I think in general about the killer or perk, and just, kind of explain that, whether or not it's a change, buff, nerf, rework, or whatever. So, in this video, we are doing how to fix Trapper. Trapper is arguably one of the worst killers, if not the worst killer in the game. He's very basic in what he does, so we'll go over and just kind of like his ability. He puts traps down. Survivors rocking traps, they get hurt. Then he can like hit them or pick them up. Traps can be found very easily. The maps are like they're changing the foliage so that's easier to see the traps. And you can disable the traps and stuff. So it's not very good. So I'll go over the good things with Trapper. Some of the good things about him: he is a 115% movement speed killer, which is really good. His traps are also really good for locking down areas. So if you're trying to 3-gen, then you can lock down 3 generators and just patrol those and then keep those safe, or prevent people from getting to a certain area, or like looping and stuff. So you can like put some traps around Killer Shack, so it helps prevent that as well. He is also just a M1 killer at heart as well, or that's on PC. He's a basic attack killer, so he makes really good use out of, like, I don't know, Save the Best for Last, Sloppy Butcher, Third Seals, just some examples with those. So the bad things about Trapper: you can see his traps easily. Indoor maps, he's terrible because there's no foliage to protect from seeing the traps. A lot of the rework of the maps, with the remodel of the maps or whatever, the graphic overhaul, the foliage is a lot lighter. You can see the traps a lot easier in the grass. And the fact he just takes time to set up. He's one of those killers where you're not playing for early game, you're playing for like late game, because you're setting up, you're protecting 3 generators, and you're just trapping those up, and that could be good, it could be bad. He also doesn't have any way to end chases or to patrol gens, really. He doesn't have any movement speed or any gen slowdown or way to catch up in chases. So in that retrospect, he's not really good. Again, he can patrol and protect 3 generators, but again, survivors can see your traps a lot easier. So you're in a bad position. In a game with Trapper, he's really easy to play, but he's not bringing anything special. He's not Hag, where Hag can place down traps, run around, then she can teleport to those traps later and stuff. But so that's some of the problems with Trapper. Some good things about him and some bad things. The bad things are just really bad, because again, he has to take time to pick up traps, set them, and then all the other stuff too, where Hag can just literally place traps down, or Freddy can just put his snares on the ground too. So there. So I personally think Trapper needs a complete rework. I think that would probably be the best thing. I'll go over what I think would be cool for his rework. But if we're just gonna focus on these bear traps, I have some ideas. I think either just a few ideas, one or multiple, I think could be good options. I think generally having all your traps be set in the very beginning could be useful. So all your traps are active. You spawn into the game, all your traps are active. And so now survivors can just randomly walk into your traps. You don't have to worry about picking them up and placing them. They're still active. Again, you can pick them up and place them other places too. You know, but I think just having that blanket, everything being active, could be useful. Another thing, I think that a trapper would be immune to his traps, so he can't walk into his traps and trigger them. I think so he can just walk over his traps and be fine. I know it's kind of like, oh, that piece too strong. Trapper sucks, okay? Just blatant trapper is probably the worst killer. So him not being affected by his traps is fine, because now you don't have to worry about running around a loop. You can chase the survivor into that loop, or they ignore the loop, so you walk through it and you can go get them easier. It'd be fine. I think that would be okay. Whatever. You know, I'm not a trapper main. I don't play trapper. You can see my trapper's level 21, and I have like no perks on him. But yeah, I think that's also something. Disabling traps should injure the survivor, not down the survivor, but it should at least injure them. You know, I don't think that's too strong. If they're gonna take time out to disable a bear trap, they should be punished for it. You know, that's, hey, you're taking time out to disable a trap, you should be punished. I don't think that's asking too much. You could also just, you know, or also you could do something where traps have just a passive cooldown. I think he has an add-on. I'm not gonna have it, but I think he has an add-on where after a certain period of time the traps will activate, or resetting themselves. I think that should just be a passive thing. Like, you know, you have a trap down, after like a minute the traps reset themselves or some time. I don't think that'd be too strong either. I think that would put him into a good position to where now his traps begin the game set and ready. Survivors injure themselves if they disarm a trap, and then bear traps come back. Just, I think in his like base kit, I think that would be good. That would put him up, so now you don't have to worry too much about picking up your traps, resetting them, and all other stuff. Survivors do disable the traps, they do become injured. I think that would be a good kind of like overhaul to a lot of what he does, and that changed some of his add-ons. Now you don't have to bring add-ons to do some of those things. He just gets it, and you can focus on making his add-ons a little bit better. So I think that's kind of the general thing of just working on the bear traps. Now the rework I would do, which I think would be a really fun idea, and you could even behavior could do an event based around trappers reworked. So, for example, he was influenced, or he was given power by the entity. The entity gave the trapper some more power, because trapper's weak, so they gave him some power. And so now he doesn't have bear traps anymore. He is like entity traps or whatever. So he places something on the ground, either like a snare or like Demogorgon's portal. So it looks similar into that. It's like a weird entity trap that he places on the ground. He has a number of traps that he just can set. You could either like have it be like hag traps, or the snares from Freddy, or you can have it be like Demo's portals, where if it's destroyed, then you get one back. Whatever. So when a survivor walks over it, they become trapped like a bear trap. But the thing is with traps is they can't be they become grabbed. I have to try to get out of it, but it's like an entity trap and stuff, so he can place them from range. He doesn't have to set them. He then, they could take a little bit of time to like set up, so survivors don't so you can't instantly just place down traps and they work. He could take a little minute to put it put it on the ground, but you can do it from range, and you have you can keep setting them, so you have them permanently on you. So it'd be similar to that of bear traps, except it's like a huge entity circle, and like claws will come out and grab the survivor or whatever, right? So now you have something where he can just do his ability without having to stop and go pick up pick up traps and then place them and move them, where he can just place them on the ground, because it's like whatever, do it from range, underneath them, whatever, however it would work. But I think this would be kind of cool because now you can do some interesting stuff with traps, instead of just being like, it's a bear trap, right? So, you know, you can do some cool designs and some cool animations with it. That's kind of the rework I would do, where you kind of keep the general theme of the power, but like make it more interesting because it's an entity claw coming out of the ground and grabbing the, like that, you know, survivor. Think of like the in-game collapse, that thing that comes out and kills his heart, something similar to that, except obviously it doesn't kill them. And you could bring, I don't know, some weird things, add-ons. I think would be kind of cool. You know, and I don't think necessarily any of these changes would make Trapper too strong, because in the surface he's still the Trapper and you still have to set up traps and have a game plan. But either the adding the stuff to his abilities, you know, the auto set and stuff like that, would help him out and make him a little bit more just better feeling to play. And I think the rework entity Trapper would be kind of cool too. You know, you rework the Trapper, you make him look a little bit more interesting, added some entity stuff on him, and yeah, you know, I think that's kind of the gist of what I think they could do to make the Trapper a better killer and more fun to play as, and I think a little bit more interesting to play against now, because I feel like Trapper's kind of boring to play against. So doing some stuff where he's harder, he's a better, and that would make the games a little bit more interesting, because now you have to just play around the Trapper and not just be like, oh, I'm gonna go just disable his traps. So no, that's my idea for that as well. Also, I just want to point out, just do a quick kind of like overview. His perks aren't even that good. Brutal strength is good, but agitation's not very good, and unnerving presence is pretty ass. So there's really no reason to level him up to get his perks anyway, because brutal strength is the only decent perk on him, and you don't even need it. So yeah, so that's my how to fix Trapper idea. I think adding any, if not all, of the trap related things would be good on Trapper, or reworking him entirely would also be fun. I think entity Trapper, again, you could, the behavior could do a huge like event based around it, because Trapper is their poster boy and he's terrible. So make him entityified or whatever, right? Do that, you know, re-kit him, change him, rework him, whatever, right? And then do an event based around him. The entity Trapper event, and you could do some cool stuff and, you know, whatever, right? So yeah, that's it, guys. You know, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's a new series I want to do. Again, we take various killers or perks and just kind of go over they should be nerfed, buffed, what I change about them, whatever. Again, I'm not the most knowledgeable about the game. I don't claim to know everything. I'm not a game developer. Behavior knows what they're doing. And, you know, I hope they're looking at Trapper being like, Trapper needs a buff, right? So this isn't like, this is what they should do. These are some you know, opinions that I had. These are some ideas that I had. You know, I thought it'd be kind of cool to like share it. If you guys have any, you know, ideas what you would do to Trapper, you know, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys think. And if you want to see me review or go over, like, do this with other killers or perks, let me know which ones down in the comments too. So yeah, that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Share the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.